I'm going to be grading every single Chicago Blackhawks player based on how they've played so far this year. We have hit the Olympic break. I thought now would be a good time to go over the Blackhawks roster, assign each player a letter grade based on how they've been playing this year. I did this early in the year. It was actually one of my first videos. I've since deleted it because my format and everything has changed so much that it was a lot of fun though, and I thought I'd kind of revisit that. Um, a little disclaimer before I start this here. These grades aren't so much on how good this player is. It's more so based on the individual player's expectations going into the year versus how they've met those expectations. So you might have a guy on the fourth line, get an A minus, and a top liner or a top D pair guy get like a C plus. It doesn't mean the fourth liner is better and more valuable. It just means he is better reaching his expectations or what the expectations we had for him on the year. So just that disclaimer before we fully dive into this here. But let's just get it started. I've got the roster in front of me and I've got all the grades. So let's start with Frank Nazar. Frank Nazar is an interesting one. We had high expectations for him coming into this year. He finished last year so strong. I'm going to give him a C plus. He's had a lot of ups and downs this year. He's been injured a couple times, which is no fault of his own. Obviously, the sort of upper body mid region injury and then the broken jaw. So obviously not his fault. But he's had a lot of ups and downs this year. He's had his cold streak, a couple cold streaks. He's been hot for periods of time, and that potential as a really good second line center is obviously still there. And I think he's still going to be worth that contract that kicks in next year. But when he's on, and he's fast as hell. He can score, he can make plays, and he's a two-way player too. I mean, he's one of our best players in the penalty kill. He's a staple on the power play. He's a really good two-way player. So the potential is definitely there for him to be that elite second line center. It's just obviously not quite there yet, and that's fair because this is his first full season in the NHL, and it's going to take time for him to adapt. I got to keep these short, otherwise this video is going to be long. Ryan Donato, C minus for Ryan Donato. He's obviously dropped off from last year, which is totally fine. Like none of us, I don't think realistically thought he would get 31 and 31 again. Um, but he's been hot and cold. He's a very hot and cold player. I feel like he kind of always has been with his time here in Chicago. Um, yeah, I'm happy with his play. I maybe wanted a little more out of him, so C minus. Jason Dickinson, I'm just going to give a C. Pretty standard. He's a reliable bottom six, two-way, more of a defensive center, and I think he plays that role well. Again, problem staying healthy, no fault of his own. He did have that one point in the season where he was clearly playing injured, and it was really frustrating because he kept leaving the game, and he would put us. And this is back when we were going 11-7 too. So there was a few games where he'd leave us with 10 forwards, and it was a little frustrating knowing he's playing injured, and kind of hurting the team that way. He did address it and change that, but I'll give him a C. I think he's been pretty much what I expected. Louis Crevier. Louis Crevier gets an A minus. I'm really I'm really strict with being very careful of giving out A's and A pluses because I feel like there should always be room to grow. So I'll give him an A minus. He has greatly exceeded expectations. There's him and one other guy that have just blown the roof off of what their expectations were, and he's one of them. He's great on the top pair with Vlasic. I love those two guys together. He's great on the penalty kill, and he's shown at times, whether it's in the shootout or a shot from the point, or hell, he'll rush the puck to the net. He can score. Like he can surprise you with some offense sometimes. He's a great defensive defenseman, physical. I'd like him to be more physical, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I have no complaints about Louis Crevier. A minus. Oliver Moore. I'll give Oliver Moore a B. I think he's exceeded my expectations a bit, but there's obviously still room. Now we're seeing that okay, there's even more to his game. Um, he had a tough start when he came up initially to kind of finding his game, and I think what helped him find his game is they put him at center. He exceeds playing center. He's a true center. Um, if you ask me, looking at it right now, I know the future isn't fully here yet, but looking at it right now, if you have Bedard, Nazar, Moore as your 1, 2, 3 down the middle, I mean that is just a dream for me. I think that's perfect. I mean Oliver Moore would be an elite third line center. He's super fast. He's more physical than I think any of us thought. He's probably there's a few guys you could give this title to, but he might be the hardest working guy on the team. Alex Vlasic, I'll give a B plus. He is gotten even better, I think, as a defensive defenseman. He's always reliable. You always feel safe with him on the ice. He can play 5-on-5. He can play penalty kill. They put him out there in overtime. Um, yeah, he's very stable. He's still young. He's on a great contract. He's playing amazing this year. B plus for Alex Vlasic. Andre Burakovsky. This is one people I know. I know there's going to be comments about this. I'm going to give Andre Burakovsky a C minus, and I know you could say like give him a D minus, an F even. And if I was going just off of the last 10 games before the Olympic break, this guy's getting a D. This guy's getting an F, right? But you got to remember how he played at the beginning of the year. He did play really well, and he still has that in him. I just think it's a rough patch. It's a slump. Every player goes through it. Um, I don't think this is just who he is. I think he can be that 60-point player that he was in Colorado, and that's the pace he was playing on at the start of the year. Before Bedard got injured, and they were, you had Burakovsky, Bedard, Green as a great trio up top. So I'm hoping we can get back to that. I'm giving him a C minus. There's of course that could definitely drop off by the end of the year, but it could also spike at the end of the year. So we'll see with him. I know a lot of people are calling for him to get traded. So we'll see. Spencer Knight. A minus for Spencer Knight. Again, I'm hesitant to give that the A and the A plus because there's always room to grow. But he has shown this year that he can be an elite starting goaltender who wants to play. This guy wants to play. If it were up to him, he'd play 82 games. He wants to be a goalie that can play 60 plus games, and that is awesome. I mean, that's exactly what you want, an elite starting goalie who wants to play 60 games. I mean, and it's not just that, he has the potential to be an elite starting goalie who wants to play 60 games. He already plays like an elite starting goaltender, and he can handle the workload. I don't have in front of me how many games he's played this year, but it's a lot. And I believe he's on pace to play over 60, I would say. Just off the top of my head, again, I don't have the numbers in front of me, so correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure you'll crucify me in the comments if I'm wrong, so go ahead. Matt Grzelcyk, I'll give a B. Matt Grzelcyk had a really slow start. A lot of people wanted this guy off the team. A lot of people were mad he got signed, kind of myself included at the start, although I understood why. It was just in case some of the young guys weren't ready, and lo and behold, Sam Renzel got sent down. Artem Levshinov is on the border of that. So it turns out we did need him, and he's been great. Obviously, like I said, slow start to the year. Training camp was tough for him. Preseason was tough. The first little bit of the regular season was tough, but he's become a guy that I like. I'm happy with him. I said it, I think, in my last video up the trade deadline that I could see the Hawks giving him a contract again next year, and for the reason of you want at least one veteran back there, and you don't know if you're going to need him, just like you did this year when someone wasn't ready, right? So I don't know. They could bring him back next year. I'll give him a B. I'm happy with Grizzly. Nick Foligno is a B as well. He's playing just as expected. He plays his role as that bottom six, sort of not grinder, but a grittier type of two-way player. Can get you some points now and again, but what he really brings is the leadership. And for that, I give him a B because he's just as expected, and he's filling his role perfectly. Ilya Mikheyev, he's another one of those guys that's going to get an A minus. He is the best two-way forward on the team. He's one of the fastest. He can score. He always shows up. He's the reason we have the number one ranked penalty kill in the NHL. This is a guy you have to bring back next year. He plays the hockey that Jeff Blashill preaches. He plays winning hockey. This team wants to make the playoffs next year. Ilya Mikheyev is going to help you get there. They have to keep this guy around, but that's not this. That's a different video I did last time. I went on my rant on why they have to keep Mikheyev already. But yeah, give him an A minus. The guy's been phenomenal this year. He's truly won the hearts of Blackhawks fans, I would say. Colton Dach, I'll give a C. He's what you expect. He's physical. There's flashes of a little bit of skill there. The guy's kind of got some hands. I mean, there's flashes, but if he's part of the long-term future, it's going to be in a most likely a fourth line grinder type role, and I've been all right with him this year. I've been happy with it. I've been unhappy when he's been scratched, which tells me that I like him in the lineup. So I'll give him a C. I think he's met expectations. And Artem Levshinov was a difficult one to grade, I have written down C plus slash B minus. I'm leaning right now more towards C plus, so I'll say C plus. Um, very up and down. He has periods of time where he's playing like a future number one defenseman, and then he has stretches of time where he's playing like probably one of the worst defensemen in the NHL. But he's 20 years old. He's a second overall pick. The flashes are there. The talent is there. I see the vision. I believe he can become what the Hawks want him to become. I truly do. But fans are getting impatient, which I don't fully I get and I don't get. That's a whole nother video. I'm gonna give Artem Levshinov a C plus. I really want to know what you guys think of Artem Levshinov in the comments, so please leave a comment. Before we go forward, if you're new here, I'm here after every single Chicago Blackhawks game doing an in-depth post-game analysis. I'm also live for pretty much every Blackhawks game on this channel, so make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, send it to a friend. I don't want you to miss out on that. Back to the list. Wyatt Kaiser. People might disagree with this. I'm going to give him a B plus. It's a good grade, but I know people out there are going to be like, this guy needs an A plus. This guy needs an A plus plus, which is fair. He's turning into a really, really good top four at the least good two-way defenseman. I would like to see Wyatt Kaiser given some power play time. This guy's got some untapped, underrated offensive skill, particularly his skating. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be like a Quinn Hughes or a Cale Makar on the blue line, but he could be like a Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar light on the power play with the way he can skate the puck and maneuver the puck along the blue line. I would like to see him get some power play time. Super happy with Wyatt Kaiser. So happy he's locked up for next year. I'd love to see them extend him again after that. This guy's going to be a staple on our back end. Landon Slaggert, I'm going to give a C to Landon Slaggert. Again, just kind of what you expected. I've been happy actually in this. You know what? I'll give him a C plus. I'll give Landon Slaggert a C plus. Um, he's what you expect. That two-way depth guy. One thing he brings though that a lot of them don't is speed. He's really fast. And one thing I've noticed this year that he's started to add to his game is, and let me know if you guys have noticed this too. When he's skating the puck into the offensive zone, a lot of the time you'll see him do what Ilya Mikheyev does, and you'll see him put his head down and drive to the net. He's been doing that a lot lately. I didn't see that a lot out of him last year. We've been seeing that a lot this year. Maybe he learned it from Mikheyev. I don't know. Either way, I like it. It adds more to his game, and if he's gonna be a part of this lineup long term, he needs to start doing stuff like that. So he's a good two-way depth guy who's got some speed and he takes the puck to the net and hopefully he can further develop that side of his game and maybe develop more of a scoring touch and make himself even more valuable going forward. Sam Renzel, B minus for Sam Renzel. So he needed the stint in Rockford, which was unexpected, I think, to a lot of us, myself included, with what we saw last year. I fully expected Sam Renzel to be an 82 game guy this year. Yeah, shouldn't say 82 games, maybe scratched here and there, but I certainly didn't expect him to be a guy that goes down to Rockford. I'm not upset that he went down to Rockford. He needed it. He's looked really, really good since he's come back. He's looking more like the guy we saw last year. He's looked great. His offensive instincts and capabilities are still there. The skating is still there, and he's improving, I think, on the defensive side of the game. Most notably his stick work, his stick checking, and his ability to kind of drive the forward where he wants him to go has really improved. So, yeah, B minus for Sam Renzel. Arvid Soderblom, I'm gonna give Arvid Soderblom a C minus. I've been underwhelmed with his game, and I mean, I don't know if I should say underwhelmed because we've known for a while what Arvid Soderblom is, but after that good season, I think we kind of maybe had some hope. He's just not the backup of the future, man. I mean, we've seen enough to know that, when he's hot, but it's not enough. More often than not, we're getting pretty bad performances out of Arvid Soderblom. And I know we have a young blue line, but you can't blame that. I mean, there's a lot of goals that go in on Arvid Soderblom that you want to save. So for me, it's C minus. He's just not quite good enough as the backup. And we have Drew Comesso coming up. That change is I would anticipate that change is going to happen sometime next year. I mean, Soderblom's locked up next year, so maybe an off-season move, maybe a trade deadline move, or maybe they just let the contract go out. Maybe they put him on waivers. I don't know, but I would think and I would hope that the transition from Soderblom to Comesso as the backup happens sometime next season. I would hope. Um, because that's obviously the long-term goal here, I would think. Teuvo Teravainen, I'll give him a B. He did have that rough stretch, and was it December or January? It wasn't that long ago where he had I think it was the month of December that he was really struggling. Um, Other than that, because I'll give every player a pass to have one slump. And like I said, every player is going to have a slump at some point, so I'll give him a pass. I'm not going to hold that against him. He got out of it and he's been fine. And Teuvo Teravainen, outside of that slump, has been exactly what Teuvo Teravainen is. He's been a solid top six skilled winger who's good defensively. Um, he's not gonna, he's not gonna be a complete game changer, but he's gonna be a staple on the wing. I don't really know how else to put. I mean, he's a solid, skilled two-way winger. You get exactly what you expect out of him, and that's what we're seeing this year. So a B for Teuvo Teravainen. Tyler Bertuzzi. Now this might piss some people off because I've thrown out some A minuses. I'm gonna give him a B plus. Um, and honestly, I don't know why. Why wouldn't I give him an A minus? Now that I'm saying it out loud, maybe an A minus for Tyler Bertuzzi. Now I'm just trying to think now. Why would I not give him an A minus? This guy has done everything we've wanted him to do. He's been our second best producer offensively. He's on pace to have a career year. He's on pace for 64 points. His career high is 62. He shows up every night, and that's the biggest thing because obviously the issue with Tyler Bertuzzi throughout his career has been inconsistencies. He doesn't show up every night. When the effort's there, he's great, but it's not always there. And this is the first time, at least for me, that I've seen out of Tyler Bertuzzi that he's there every single night and he gives it his all every single night. He wants to win every single night. And I think he believes in this locker room and I think he believes in this team. And I'm excited to have him around next season for when I would think this team is going to be competitive. They were competitive for the first 2.5 months of this year. I would like to see them be competitive for longer than that next year. Ideally, competing for a playoff spot up until the end of the year, and I'm excited to have him around for that. So I'll do an A minus for Tyler Bertuzzi. Connor Murphy, I'll give a B plus. Connor Murphy has been Connor Murphy, man. He's been Connor Murphy. Like what else do I say? He's another one of those guys. He's a stable veteran on the back end. You know exactly what you're getting, and he delivers every night. He's a safe option to have. He can give you what you need solid, bottom pairing 5-on-5 minutes. He can play on the penalty kill. He's physical. He'll fight. He's done that this year. He's a leader. Um, he's exactly what you want. And, he's probably going to get traded at this deadline, which is, it makes sense. It's going to suck to see him go. But yeah, B plus for Murphy. He's been here so long through so many dark years in Chicago that it really sucks that now that we're coming out of that, he's going to leave. So that really sucks. B plus for Murphy. I have nothing but great things to say about Connor Murphy. Two left, Ryan Green. A minus for Ryan Green. He is another one of those guys, just like Louis Crevier. I wrote pretty much the exact same thing. He has exceeded expectations far beyond anyone could have expected. He wasn't even supposed to make the opening night lineup. He was on his way to Rockford. He gets called up, back up for the season opener because I'm blanking. Someone wasn't ready to go, and I'm forgetting who it was now. Um, but anyway, he comes in the season opener, and now he's a guy you can't take out of the lineup. He's a complete Swiss Army knife. He can play anywhere in the lineup. You put him on the fourth line with Nick Foligno, he thrives. You put him on the top line with Connor Bedard, he thrives. He plays power play. He plays penalty kill. He can win faceoffs. He's always going to make the right move. He makes a smart play. It's simple hockey. I love Ryan Green. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite players on this team. I sure hope he's here uh, for the long run because I have nothing but great things to say about Ryan Green. A minus from me. And last but not least, Connor Bedard. Also going to get an A minus. Um, Before he went down with that shoulder injury, he was obviously top three in points, on pace for like what 120 points or something. He, this year, has truly become that elite generational offensive threat. Best shot in the NHL. I'll say it. He's got the best release in the NHL. He is that player. He is that generational uh organization changing player. I don't even know if that makes sense. He hasn't quite been fully back, I would say, since the shoulder injury. It took him some time to kind of heat up again, and I'd say he's getting pretty close. He played a couple good games before the Olympic break, so I'll give him an A minus. I have no doubt in my mind that the Connor Bedard we saw at the beginning of the year is the Connor Bedard we're going to get throughout the rest of his career, sorry, and maybe even more than that. He might have not even hit his ceiling yet. He's only 20. He probably hasn't hit his ceiling yet. So, yeah, those are my Blackhawks rankings, letter grades for this year so far at the Olympic break. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and sending it to a friend. If you have any friends that are Blackhawks fans, I'm trying to build a community here. Like I said, I am here after every single Chicago Blackhawks game doing an in-depth analysis. I'm also live for most Blackhawks games, so be sure to subscribe and stick around for that, and I'll see you in the next one. It's in! Bedard! Let's go! Connor Bedard! 1-0. Fuck yeah. Go Mikheyev. Mikheyev's got a lane. Oh, what a shot! Ilya Mikheyev. Let's go! Man, he is so good. If they let him go or if they trade him, I'm going to be... They got to re-sign this guy. What a shot. And a good play. Was that Dickinson that flipped it out to him? All right, 2-on-1 maybe. Nazar, Bedard. Bedard stops up. He's got so much room, and he scores. What a shot from Connor Bedard. My word. That was beautiful. Too bad it doesn't matter. That was such a nice shot. That stop-up toe drag, he loves it. Bang.